Hello everybody. 10 years ago, a video released on YouTube. It wasn't my video, but a video came out on YouTube called The Ugly Truth of Trucking. As a matter of fact, you can go watch it sometime if you want. It's still there. Now this video talked about a very specific thing in trucking, and that thing was being a reefer driver and having your schedule constantly flip from days to nights, and oh, you just woke up and your load ain't ready and you got to wait another 12 hours before it's ready and you're not able to get back to sleep, but the company expects you to drive anyways. That's what that video focused in on, right? The video did very well. It did very, very well. I looked back on the video today because what I wanted to do, my friends, because I'm an old trucker now, is I wanted to look at that video and be like, what a little bitch that guy was. But I actually pride myself on being a trucker for as long as I have and not talking down on everybody else that's trying to be a trucker. Now, don't get me wrong. I will talk down on an inbred hick trucker that thinks he's the greatest thing that happened to trucking. I will talk down on that guy and a prime driver any day of the week. But other than that, I kind of pride myself on being the guy that's still not angry at the world because I've been a trucker for so long. And I've decided I want to talk about my own version of the ugly truth of trucking and go a little more in depth in the whole over-the-road freight hauling thing, and quite honestly, the dumpster fire of a fucking industry that it is these days. Now, when I do these videos, a lot of times people think they're about me, and they go, I'll have 20 suggestions about where I should go to work at. Every time I make a video, people suggest where I should go work at. It's strange. I guess it's fine. It's not always the worst thing ever, but I've been at Swift for less than a month, and just yesterday somebody was suggesting a new job to me. Let me try this first, all right? At least let me try this. So yeah, like I said, this is more about the over-the-road general freight hauling, which includes your dry van, reefer, and possibly even flatbed at the big companies. The overall state of those parts of the trucking industry, and has nothing to do with me. Actually, I'm quite content right now over here at Swift. Some of you might have saw my community post last night because I was so proud that I was finally able to book a load off the load board all by myself. I felt like a big boy, and I was finally getting things done, and actually it led to me going to have a really good week here. So I just want to specify, this is not about me. This is about the industry as a whole. But before I get into that, there's something I do want to address because I think it's hilarious. Lately, the thing in the comments, Josh, don't read your comments. You're not allowed to. Yes, I am. I'm allowed to read my comments, goddammit, and I'm allowed to respond to them in video form. Fuck. But lately, the thing has been, people come to the comments section and go, you need to just shut up and drive that truck. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I am fucking honored to be told that, because you know you're making waves, you know you're saying something that matters, that's important, when people want you to just shut the fuck up. So I gotta be honest, I am proud that people are coming to tell me that. Now, I feel bad for people with that mindset. I really do, because the world is a hard fucking place. It's a really, really tough place. So when somebody is so convinced and so beat down by the world that they think that the right thing to do is just shut the fuck up and do your job, it's actually a really, really sad thing for those people. It's almost like they've given up on life. And me, if you know anything about old This Guy Trucks, sometimes I'm down, but I'm never out, baby. I'm never out. So you will not ever break my spirit so poorly or so much, however you want to put that I will just shut up and do my job. I will continue to speak on the things that matter to me. And you know what? Since I've been trucking for the last 10 years and I've done everything I can to learn more and more about this general freight hauling side of trucking, that's a thing that matters to me, is what I'm trying to fucking say. So I wanted to say, in the words of the great Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine, every time you come here and you tell me that I need to just shut up and drive the truck, fuck you. I won't do what you told me, all right? I'm going to keep talking about what matters, all right? For the young people. For the young people. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. Just like that, a nice pat on the back. Sometimes I'm so goddamn proud of myself that the young people look to me. They want to ask me questions because I've yet to talk down on somebody that's just aspiring to get a job and learn that job and take care of themselves and take care of their family and just want to do better in life, because god damn it, that's what we do here in America, all right? We don't talk down on people for working hard. We don't talk down on people because they don't know everything but they really want to learn. We talk down on the shitheads. That's who we talk down on. So let's get into the actual point of what I want to talk about. I actually thought that was a pretty good video looking back on it now, because the guy was, like I said, he was talking about the constant flip-flop schedule of refrigerated driving. Well, you guys know that I just left my last job not even a month ago, and that was a huge part of the problem. They always were flip-flopping my schedule. It happens in trucking in general. I'm just had it kind of happen today. I was up at 1 o'clock this morning to go make my 1 a.m. delivery. I was right down the street, so it was fine. It was fine. And I just had to take a nap, but it don't happen as frequently. We just know it's part of the job. But in refrigerated, it happens all the fucking time. So I'm not going to talk down on the guy. I understand where he's coming from. For a viewer just watching that video, it's easy to go, oh, you poor baby, you were tired, weren't you? Oh, you just didn't want to get up and do your job, huh? You little bitch. But when you're in that moment and your schedule is flipping all over the place and you're just beat down, fucking exhausted, it is a living hell. It is the worst thing in the world to go through. So that's definitely part of it. But the industry as a whole, not as a whole, okay, let me rephrase that. There are a lot of different ways to do trucking. A whole fucking lot. You know, a lot of people start out where I'm at right now, honestly. They start out at Swift hauling dry van freight and they go on to do something else. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but I've said it over and over, and I don't have to defend myself. I am a freight hauling motherfucker. I just like running around the country hauling freight. I know that I'm not making all the money that I could, and I sometimes would love to have more money, but at the cost of my sanity, I'm already a little bit fucking crazy, at least, right guys? It's not worth it to me to maybe get a dedicated route and do the same goddamn thing over and over. One thing I learned when I tried flatbed one time for a week is I'm too goddamn lazy to secure a load the right way. Now, there's a lot of things I'm not lazy at, but when it came to securing a load, I'm just not great at it. So let me get in the fucking point. I'm getting sidetracked a lot in this video. The general freight hauling part of trucking is an absolute shit show. And looking back on that part with his flip-flopping schedules on Reefer, that still has absolutely not improved. And honestly, it's a thing that doesn't really make sense to me. Why do grocery warehouses insist on having completely fucking insane shipping and receiving hours? Why the fuck can't they figure out a way to, I don't know, do this at a normal time of day? Because I'm sure everybody in the world involved fucking hates it. But trucking is a piece of shit industry overall. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I love it. It gets in your blood and you just do it. But for what we do, obviously, as an over-the-road trucker, you're in your truck all the time, weeks at a time, possibly months. If I'm being quite honest with you guys, we don't make near enough money for what we're being asked to do. But when you get to be like me, you do it with a goddamn smile on your face because it beats the fucking alternative of an office job or the same thing every day. Or, oh, gross, a local job. Fucking hate local work. Gross. I fucking hate it. The problem with that is, now don't get me wrong, when COVID came around, well, it started before that. See, I actually do know my history of trucking because I like to know where we came from and where we're going. The ELD mandate was where the wages going higher for company drivers, well, and even owner-operators, because it lowered capacity, basically, the ELD mandate. It took trucks effectively off the road for a certain amount of time, every fucking day, which lowers capacity overall. And the ELD mandate was the first step in really seeing wages go higher, right? That was the first step. And then when COVID came around and the world went absolutely berserk, trucker wages, since I've been an over-the-road trucker, have effectively doubled. And in 10 years to see them double, well, it's probably still not fucking enough, but that's pretty good. I try to think of other industries, and being honest with you, I don't know other industries very well, but I can't imagine that wages over a 10-year period have just about doubled. And I know that to be pretty much a fact, right? When I first started truck driving, over-the-road drivers were doing 28 cents, 30 cents a mile, somewhere in there. It's nothing to get 60 cents now as a company driver, but honestly, it's really not enough because inflation, houses cost $500,000 fucking dollars now, you know? So when you think about it, it's like, oh, I make $1,200 a week. Well, fuck, that kind of adds up to jack shit these days, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of does. So it really doesn't matter, honestly. But ever since deregulation, I believe that was in the early 80s, late 70s, somewhere in there. Even though there were maybe some good things that came from deregulation, overall, for the quality of life and the paycheck of a truck driver, it was a really, really bad thing for everyone. Ever since deregulation, basically it's been a race to the bottom, in the sense that we can haul freight for cheaper than that guy, and everybody cutting each other's throat to be the cheapest guy to haul that freight, to the point now that trucking companies operate on, they say, razor thin margins that allow them the little bit of money that's left to pay the drivers and maintain the trucks, basically. Now, sometimes I don't know how much I believe that. You know, you go into some of these companies and they've got these fucking terminals that look like the Taj Mahal and shit. Melton's a good example of that. Very nice terminal. GP Transco's a good example of that. Very nice terminal. There's, I mean, Swift would probably be an example. I haven't seen all of their terminals because they got one in every goddamn state, right? So I don't know how true it is, these razor thin margins that they talk about. But the point is, especially now after COVID, the rates have dropped off substantially, right? And the rates have dropped off substantially because everybody wants to move everything for cheaper. There's a weird thing that happens in our society, and I'm not an economist, so I don't know if this is the right or wrong answer, or what the right or wrong answer is, but everybody wants everything for cheaper and cheaper. We want it moved for cheaper. We want to buy it for cheaper. And on the surface, that sounds like a really good idea, right? But when we find out that things get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, somewhere along the line, somebody has to foot the bill for that, right? Somebody is left holding the fucking bag. You know who it is in truck driving? Us, the truckers, every time. In the form of, we don't have money to give raises. Oh, we've stopped giving bonuses. We don't have the miles, so your truck needs to sit there for 2 days or something like that. Don't think for a minute the people at the top, the millionaires, the billionaires, the ones in charge, the shippers and receivers and the trucking companies, don't think for a goddamn second they're gonna hold the bag. They are gonna find a way to pass that down to your dumbass and make sure that you make less and less money, because fucking why should they take the fucking hit? And that applies to every industry. It's always the people at the bottom, right, that are holding the bag, that are making the least amount of money, that are barely scraping by and surviving in life. And that's the fucking way it goes, right? And then we get in situations. There's a thing I don't understand. Truckers are some of the most anti-union people out there. Yeah, I just triggered them by saying union just now, right? A trucker, in most cases, will actively fight against trucker wages just so he has the pleasure of looking at the guy next to him and telling that guy he's a bitch, right? It's worth more than them to barely get by, to just scrape by, to not make any money, just so they can call the next guy a fucking pussy because he thinks he should make more money. The biggest enemy out of all these things I said, the millionaires, the billionaires, the shippers and receivers, even the consumer, because the consumer obviously wants everything cheaper also, for a good fucking reason. For some reason, people think that $18 an hour is even a living wage, that an adult can support themselves on. Yeah, good fucking luck with all that. That's not gonna work. But anyways, out of all these things, the biggest enemy to truckers are the fucking truckers, because truckers fucking hate truckers. Truckers want to see truckers suffer just so they can look at that trucker and say, at least I'm better than that fucking trucker, right? And as long as they can do that, then they are perfectly content. Don't give them goddamn $100,000 a year, right? Don't make sure they have a pension or a good retirement plan or anything like that. Give them a reason to feel better than the trucker parked next to them, and that's all they fucking need in life. That's it, right? So we allow all these companies just take complete fucking advantage of us, just so we can feel better about being better than the next guy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not fucking immune to it. I've been a trucker for a long time now, and when I see that fat sloppy bastard walking across the truck stop parking lot with fucking jizz stains all over his damn sweater, I'm like, yeah, at least I'm better than that guy. And then I feel better for like 30 minutes. Like 30 minutes of feeling better about myself. God damn, that's more than you can ask a lot of the time, right? So, holy shit, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. But truckers are very anti-trucker. They don't want the next guy next to them to do better. Not fucking at all, right? At all. And it's a very sad thing. So yeah, when it comes to wages for truckers, it's just not fucking sustainable. And don't even get me started on fucking detention pay. Oh, if you sit there for more than 2 hours, then we'll pay you. And that's not the worst thing ever. I mean, you get like a little nap, a 2-hour break and all that, sure, and then the company's supposed to start paying you, and then you're like, your check comes and you go, where's my detention pay? And they go, well, did you request it? Request it? Motherfucker, it was on the paperwork we signed when I came to work here. What do you mean request it? And you have to request it. But even worse than that is layover pay. And I'm talking about company guys. I left company side years ago. I'm not looking out for me when I make this video. I'm telling you guys what you need to look out for. Those of you that are company drivers that are new to trucking, you need to pay attention to these things, right? They got what they call layover pay. Layover pay is where, oh, if we sit you for 24 hours, if we sit you for 24 hours, then we'll pay you $100 because it's our fault we didn't get you a load. Yeah, stupid, it is your fault that you didn't get us a load. But $100, that's pretty damn insulting now, isn't it? $100. Well, you laid there in your bunk all day and you didn't do anything. I didn't do anything? Did you just say, as an over-the-road truck driver, because you didn't have a load for me, that I didn't do anything? I sat here 1,000 miles away from my family. I had to go take yet another shower in a filthy fucking truck stop. I got to lay here for another 22 hours with just the thoughts in my head because I'm isolated in the truck, and you have the balls to tell me I just didn't do anything? It's psychological warfare out here, motherfucker. And you gave me $100? You gave me $100? And that's only if you sit for 24 hours or more. If you sat there for 23 hours and 58 minutes, try, motherfucker, to get that layover. Good luck. You ain't getting it. You ain't fucking getting it. Yeah, you dumb bastard. You ain't getting it. Oh, we really care about our drivers. We know you by your name, not your number. Fuck you. Remember my number, bitch. Bank account number specifically. Pay me. God damn it. I don't give a fuck if you know my name. I'd rather you didn't. Stop calling me. Stop calling me. What else is a fucking shit show in trucking? God, honestly, that's my biggest complaint. You know, like I was saying, truckers are so adamantly against truckers, adamantly against higher wages because it wasn't like that 30 years ago. Just so opposed to truckers being paid for everything they do, you know, fueling the truck, pre-tripping the truck, I've actually been in arguments with people like that. Why aren't truckers paid to fuel the truck, to pre-trip the truck, to fucking sit on the dock every minute they're sitting there, to sit there while DOT inspects their truck, any number of things, right? And you know the answer I got? Well, because that's your job, motherfucker. You just get up and do it. No, you just said job. You just said job. Did you hear yourself? If it's my job, then I demand to be paid for it. You know, I demand to be paid. I've actually had people tell me the reason you don't get paid for everything you do is because it's your job. You know how dumb you sound saying that? Yes, it's my job. I came here to get fucking paid. I used to get yelled at all the time because here on YouTube because I said that I drive trucks for money. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I don't do it for the love of trucking. Like fucking I don't do it because I love showering in truck stops. I don't do it for the fucking roller grill. All right? I don't do it for the lot lizards. I don't do it for any of those things. God damn it, I'm here to get paid. So anybody that tries to shame you because you decided to take a job for money, they don't really fucking understand, I guess, what jobs are. I don't fucking know. I'm trying to think about what else is like really a dumpster fire in trucking. But I mean, equipment's good these days. Trucks are real comfortable to live in for the most part, except this auto start stop bullshit. What a fucking racket that is, right? Oh my God. We got to get rid of that. In my opinion, the auto start stop is the worst thing to happen to trucks because you sleep in one, motherfuckers. Like fucking, you're trying to sleep and the whole truck starts shaking because it's starting itself up. You're going to give a fat trucker a fucking heart attack doing shit like that in his sleep. You're going to kill fat truckers because you decided to do this auto start stop thing. But the equipment as a whole is pretty fucking good. It's not the worst thing ever. DOT's not that bad. A lot of people flip out about fucking DOT. Oh my God, DOT's watching me. DOT don't really give a fuck, if I'm being honest with you. They're kind of a bunch of lazy fucks. Now I'm going to get inspected today. When this video goes out, they're going to be like, there's that guy that called us a bunch of lazy fucks. Well, let's go see what's going on with his truck if we're so goddamn lazy. Sons of bitches. Motherfucking DOT, leave me alone. God damn it. I had something in my head and I don't remember what the fuck it was. But like I was saying, the equipment's pretty good. What the problem is in trucking, in my opinion, as a guy that's been doing it for 10 years, that has seen it from a few different angles, company driver, owner operator, lease operator, all those things, calling brokers to book my own loads. The problem with trucking is there's a whole lot of shady shit going on behind the scenes. And there is lack of any kind of government regulation to help with those things. And I'm talking about, you know, your freight brokers, of course. They were supposed to do this whole transparency thing. I don't know whatever happened with that. Like if you, excuse me, let me get a drink. Let me get a drink. If you call a broker, I don't know if this went into effect yet, but if you call a broker and you say, hey, what did you get for this load? They're supposed to show you. They're supposed to produce documentation. Like I said, I don't know if it's went into effect yet. That says, hey, this is what we got on this load, so now you know how much we are into this load, and then you can ask for a normal price. Well, I was reading the brokers subreddit when that first started happening, and they said those brokers were saying that's a quick way to get fucking blacklisted around here. Ask me how much money I made. So basically, they're just saying straight up, hey, if somebody wants to like the transparency and wants to know what I made on this load, I'm never going to work with that person again. I'll block their goddamn phone number, right? So brokers are can be snakes sometimes too, right? And I understand during COVID, we took all your guys' goddamn money because you couldn't find anyone to move the fucking load. So, hey, I guess we get what we get, right? Don't worry, the pendulum's going to swing back the other way again one day, and we're going to take all your damn money again, brokers. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. Those of us that survive will be there to clean out your bank account. Don't worry, it's going to happen. But even worse than that is the double brokering. That's where fucking somebody calls a broker and they basically pretend to be a carrier. They probably got their own MC number and all. Well, you have to have an MC number. A broker ain't going to broker you a load unless you provide an MC number. But they pretend to be a fucking carrier and they book that load with the broker. And then they never move that load. They put it back on the load board at a lower price. And then eventually, after 3 or 4 times of it being reposted to the load board, some bastard like me, dumb like me, grabs that load for probably a third of what the original value was and goes and moves that fucking load. Then he eventually gets paid for it, and it just goes back to, let's say, to the double broker. He gets all the money for the load and sends the bill. You get how it works. It's just skimming is all it is, and it has multiple levels. People will broker the load over and over, and there's basically nothing that prevents it from happening. Even if there is some sort of law, nothing prevents it from happening. It just keeps happening over and over. And that's the real ugly truth of trucking. Is it is a industry just fucking absolutely filled with corruption, and nobody does a damn thing about it. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to get murdered for mentioning it. They'll probably kill me. But absolute corruption, people always looking to get the upper hand on the next guy. And like I said, at the end of the day, the guys doing the work, you and me, the truck drivers, we are the ones left holding the bag every fucking time. All right, so to touch back on the original video that wasn't mine, yeah, your flip-flopping schedule does suck hauling reefer. Kind of pales in comparison a little bit to the absolute nobody gives a fuck about truck drivers, but I also think that he speaks to that point in that original video. Trucking's a shit show. Trucking's a dumpster fire. I guess one last point I wanted to talk about. I want to be clear here. I am not opposed to immigration. Okay, I am not, I know some people are mad, this is just how I feel. I am not opposed to people coming to America to try to make a better life for them. Yes, I mean legally, okay? I know some people are freaking out right now. Of course I mean legally, right? So what we do have happen as part of the corruption in trucking, and we're seeing it more and more every day, is you get a whole lot of people that just came to America out here in trucks, which, like I said, I still don't mind. But looking at how some of them drive, and don't get me wrong, I've seen a bunch of goofy white hicks, inbred hicks, out here driving like complete fucking idiots too. But looking at how a lot of these guys drive, and linked with the fact that there have been so many people in trouble for taking bribes for CDLs. I'm talking about trucking schools, Department of Motor Vehicle, or the driver's license offices, taking bribes to give people basically CDLs that they never really tested for. It puts all of us in a really scary situation. And if you look around out here, you can spot people that probably don't have a valid CDL. And I'm not basing that on skin color or nationality or any kind of thing like that. It's the complete inability to drive the truck in any safe kind of fashion. And you see that guy white knuckling the truck. You can see the look of fear on his face as he's traveling around a country he's never been to before, doesn't understand what the fuck is happening, and he's driving at the truck on potentially a CDL that's not even valid, that he never really tested for. And that has nothing to do with the immigrant. I know a lot of people want to get mad at the immigrants and say it's all their fault, but how about we blame the companies in every industry that specifically want to hire immigrants so that they can pay out lower wages, and the millionaire and the billionaire keeps more and more money? I think it's more their fault than it is the guy that doesn't fucking know any better, right? I think it's more their fucking fault. Yeah, it's time to blame the companies that like cheap labor so much that they're willing to make it a dangerous situation for everybody out there. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. So I don't blame the immigrant. I damn sure blame the companies that think that it's okay to exploit people. I sure do. That's it. I got nothing else to talk about, and I'm going to sit here and think, and then the video is going to be way too longer than it already is. That, my friends, is my ugly truth of trucking.